Right, this week I'm going through some older Critical Role sets because a lot of them happen to be on sale over at the WizKids shop right now, including this one, NPCs of Tal'Dorei 2. I reviewed the first set of NPCs in a video you can see up there in the corner. This set, as you might imagine, has a lot of humanoids, so it's good for PCs and NPCs at your table. They're not particularly villainous looking like the last set we reviewed, so this set's probably going to be used less for encounter building and more for giving the party some allies or some battle map set dressing, or maybe for some potential player characters. But let's go ahead and take a closer look now so you can draw your own conclusions as we check out NPCs of Tal'Dorei Set 2. Enhance and improve your 5e games today with Hit Point Press. Helliana's Guide to Monster Hunting turns your 5e campaign into a full-on fantasy monster hunting show, with clue-driven hunts, epic multi-phase boss fights, and deep rules for harvesting your enemies into magic items, meals, and familiars, all with that signature loot tavern humor. If I Were a Lich Man is an Emmy-winning trilogy of funny, defiantly Jewish indie RPGs where liches, vampires, and bootlegger grandmas turn monsters into heroes and tabletop play into creative resistance. Or enhance your 5e games with animated spell, condition, and townsfolk cards. Learn more today at Hit Point Press by using our link in the corner or down below. As we get started here, keep in mind that there will be some light spoilers, particularly for Campaign 1 and for the Vox Machina TV show as well. Kaylie Shorthalt is a young gnome bard from Campaign 1 who travels with Dr. Dranzel's troop and has an important personal connection to Scanlan. She is musically talented, self-assured, and capable of holding her own when a situation turns dangerous. I don't think any of these have official stat blocks unless I say so otherwise, so I'll recommend some from 5.5e that could work at your table. The Performer stat block is probably the most natural fit, with Performer Maestro working for a more experienced version, and Spy if you're looking for a different take. Based on her flute and her confident posture, she could serve as a traveling musician, a rival bard, a magical academy student, an undercover courier, a tavern informant, or just an entertainer who knows far more than maybe she initially reveals. Jarett Howarth is a human soldier from Marquette who serves as captain of the guard at Greyskull Keep, making him one of Vox Machina's dependable recurring allies in Campaign 1. The 5.5e guard captain stat block is probably the most direct match, while warrior veteran works if you want to make him feel like a more seasoned combatant rather than an officer. The mini feels like someone who is accustomed to authority without requiring heavy armor. So beyond just Jarett himself, you can make him as just a household security chief, a city watch commander, maybe a veteran caravan master, a disciplined mercenary officer, or maybe just a suspicious noble's bodyguard deciding whether the adventurers can be trusted or not. Cassandra de Rolo is Percy's younger sister and an important figure in Whitestone's story during Campaign 1. She carries the bearing of a noble, but her experience also gives her more of a practical edge than a sheltered aristocrat. The noble stat block would probably work well, while guard captain suits a version with a little bit more battlefield experience, and warrior veteran can also be a more seasoned combatant. In your campaigns, this mini could be a young estate holder, a diplomatic envoy, a provincial governor, an aristocratic investigator, or maybe a political hostage. Sa Ord is the enigmatic ruler of Ank'Harel, the great Marquesian city visited by Vox Machina in Campaign 1. They are measured, confident, and clearly far more formidable than their understated appearance might suggest. This mini is unusually tall for a humanoid figure, as you'll see later when they're all lined up, to the point where it almost looks like it's done to a different scale than the other minis, though this accurately reflects the character and subtly hints that there may be a little bit more to them than meets the eye. For use on your table, you could use a noble stat block for social encounters, while mage or archmage could be great if you want to have them have a little bit more concealed power. Their simple clothing and unusual height and unarmed stance could also suit a desert sovereign, an ageless advisor, a secretive diplomat, and a powerful shapeshifter, or maybe an unusual traveler hiding their true nature and identity. Kern the Hammer is a half-orc combatant encountered in Vasselheim's Crucible, where he has earned a reputation as one of the arena's most formidable champions and serves as a rival for Grog, naturally. The 5.5e Gladiator stat block is a pretty obvious fit for an experienced pit fighter. You can also use Berserker or Warrior Veteran if you want to. He could also be used as an underground boxing champion, a tavern enforcer, a prison yard boss, a dockside bruiser, or maybe just a mercenary bodyguard. Seeker Assum Emring is a halfling ranger who serves as the Master of Information on the Council of Tal'Dorei, gathering intelligence and assisting Vox Machina during Campaign 1. The 5.5e Spy stat block is a great fit, while Scout might emphasize his ranger training and fieldcraft. Assassin could make him more dangerous, as he looks pretty intimidating. In other adventures, the mini could represent a royal spy master, a wilderness operative, a criminal informant, an underground investigator, a resistance organizer, or a discreet agent sent ahead of the party to assess a threat and establish contacts. Senokir is a Fire Genasi jeweler and merchant whom Vox Machina meets in the City of Brass during Campaign 1. His unusual mannerisms and unsettling intensity help explain this miniature's sharply tilted head, which appears intended to capture the way he kind of scrutinizes visitors with a little tilted head and speaks with unnerving focus. It's just tilted a little too much to look natural. You could use a commoner stat block for a non-combatant artisan, maybe noble, since he's a wealthy, connected trader. You can do mage if you want to add some elemental power in there, but that unnatural posture makes him a little bit difficult to repurpose. Maybe he's a possessed shopkeeper, kind of laying into the unnatural here. Maybe he's an undead mortician, or an aberrant cultist, or a murdered noble on the table, or maybe just an eerie planar merchant. Earthbreaker Groon is the senior priest of Kord in Vasselheim and a formidable monk who tests warriors seeking to understand true strength. He appears in Campaign 1 as a demanding but perceptive mentor figure, particularly again in Grog's story. This is kind of a Grog-centric set in a lot of ways. Since the 5.5e Monster Manual lacks a dedicated monk NPC, you could use warrior veteran, maybe priest is another option if you want to have a little bit more religious authority. Elsewhere, maybe you could use the mini as an ancient monastery master, an arena trainer, a mountain guardian, a divine champion, or maybe the warrior sage that you find at the end of a long pilgrimage. Viktor is an eccentric black powder merchant and independent inventor whom Percy visits in Vasselheim during Campaign 1. Also, he's probably my favorite character from that era of Critical Role. His expertise makes him a valuable contact, though working with him carries a considerable risk of accidental combustion. For the 5.5e stat block, I guess Commoner would work here, but I would kind of go back to 5e maybe. Kobold Inventor could be a lot of fun, just reskin it as a human. Outside of Critical Role, this mini is great for a gunsmith, an alchemist, a sage engineer, a tinkerer, a trap master, a reckless artificer, or just a generic mad scientist. Shaun Gilmore is the charismatic owner of Gilmore's Glorious Goods, a prominent magic shop in Amon, and one of Vox Machina's most trusted associates during Campaign 1. He combines commercial savvy, considerable arcane talent, and an instinct for navigating powerful social circles. 5.5e, you're looking at mage probably, or archmage for a stronger version, or a noble if you're kind of depowering him here. You could also use this mini as an elite magic item dealer, a royal arcanist, a charming court advisor, a wealthier spellcaster, a diplomatic envoy, or a well-connected patron who can supply the party with rare information and enchanted equipment. Allura is a powerful human wizard, a member of the Tal'Dorei Council, and a longtime ally of Vox Machina, who provides arcane expertise throughout Campaign 1. In 5.5e, again, age and archmage probably. There seems to be a theme with this set, lots of mages and archmages. But if you want to go back to 5e, the Abjurer Wizard is especially appropriate because Allura specializes in protective and defensive magic. You can also use this mini as a royal court wizard, a magical academy rector, an arcane ambassador, an expert on planar threats, an expedition leader, or a trusted advisor. Lady Kima of Vord is a halfling paladin of Bahamut and a seasoned adventurer who becomes an important ally to Vox Machina during Campaign 1, though the meeting with her is initially a little shaky. She is direct and courageous and probably more comfortable confronting danger than dealing with formal diplomacy, though as a noble she still has to do that from time to time. Knight would be a good stat block for her, maybe with some added radiant damage. She can also be a compact temple champion, a dragon hunter, a militant inquisitor, a royal bodyguard, a veteran adventurer, or a commanding officer whom larger enemies consistently underestimate. If you're actually running a Critical Role Tal'Dorei campaign for fans of the show, this is a set you're probably going to want to get, as it has a lot of important NPCs from that universe, particularly Gilmore, Allura, and Lady Kima. I often talk about having a bag of townsfolk NPCs that I like to populate my tavern and city builds with, and this set has a few that fit that need, but not as many as I thought might be here. There are certainly some fun minis here, maybe some that would be good PC minis, but for folks who aren't fans of Critical Role, this set isn't maybe as exciting as some of the other ones. And with one mini being abnormally tall and another one having a broken neck, it somewhat reduces the ability to repurpose these minis for other campaigns. But you do have some standouts, including the flashy merchant Gilmore, Viktor the Tinkerer, who I'm always going to love. Earthbreaker Groon is also great, could be a great monk PC, and there's some good halfling and gnome representation as well. NPCs of Tal'Dorei Set 2 is available now. Like the other sets, it has an MSRP of $60, but it is currently 50% off on the WizKids store at the time of filming this video. No idea how long that sale is going to last, so jump on it if you're interested. They also have a number of Critical Role bundles available. We talked about 2 of the bundles in the last couple of videos, so today I'm going to talk about the other 2 Critical Role bundles. This set is included in the Guests, NPCs, and Monsters bundle, which also has NPCs of Wildemount, Guests of Critical Role, Monsters of Exandria sets 1, 2, and 3, so 6 sets total for $200, which comes out to be about $33 per set. There's also a Monsters of Tal'Dorei bundle, which includes Monsters of Tal'Dorei sets 1 and 2, plus the Ember Rock mini for $100. I'll link the bundles for you down below. Again, I don't get any kind of commission from WizKids, but minis are expensive these days, so when there are deals available, I want you to know about them. And these Critical Role minis are generally pretty interesting. I've reviewed most of the sets now. You can find the videos in my Critical Role playlist here on YouTube, which I'll throw up there in the corner now. I think I can link those playlists up there. I'll find out later when I edit this. If you're looking for some delicious and dungeon meshy style crafting and cooking with a creative twist to add to your 5e games, check out Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting from our sponsor Hit Point Press. Every monster kill becomes an opportunity to create something fun and unique. You can check it out at the link down below. And yeah, that's it for me today. So for now, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.